Boom! Today I got the email that all investors are waiting for. But before I get into the details, let me start this video properly. Hi, welcome back to my channel, The Third Bara, where you get a front row seat as I digest the latest financial and economic news and use that information to update my portfolio. Let's begin. Today, my portfolio has increased slightly to actually an all-time high this week to 496,257. But as I keep stressing, this is expected. Your portfolio value will go up and it will go down. But we are here for the long term. So, as long as we have faith in our strategy of investing in quality companies for the long term, these minor ups and downs in the portfolio is of no matter. So, of course, I didn't buy or sell any shares, so my expected dividend yield is still at 27,723. But as we're on the topic of dividends, let's quickly go over to the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange website. And let's go down to our jewel, our crown jewel, Neil and Massey group. So let's see what news Neil and Massey has in store for us. Let me just wait for I'm doing this in real time, so let me just wait for the page to load. So we skip to the newsroom, Neil and Massey. So the last bit of news they had was published on the 29th of January. So let's see, and this is called the Notice of Consideration of Interim Dividend Payments. So let's see what's that about. So companies are required to inform the stock exchange when they plan on issuing dividend payments. So this is how the notice goes. So this is how the market knows to expect some sort of news regarding to the dividend payments. So let's see what the notice says. The notice says that, let me read from the title. Notice of Consideration of Interim Dividend Payment, Massey Holdings Limited. The Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange Limited received notice from Massey advising that their board of directors will, on Thursday, February 6th, 2025, consider a recommendation for the payment of an interim dividend. This was issued on the 29th of January. So today is the 7th. So let's see what was the result of that consideration. This is the email that was sent out to all shareholders. And basically it's a declaration of dividend. So in this email, we expect to find out what's the amount per share the company will pay us, when we expect the payment to be made, and to whom will receive those payments. So let me repeat that. We expect to get the amount of dividend per share. We expect to know what date that all shareholders, all applicable shareholders will receive that dividend payment. And in terms of applicability, they'll give you a date called the ex-dividend date. And this date will tell you which shareholders will receive this dividend payment. So let's get down into the details of this declaration. So basically, these are the board of directors. Based on the financial results for the quarter ended in December 31st, 2024, the directors have declared an interim dividend payment of 3.54 cents per share upon the issued and outstanding shares in the capital of the company payable on March 28, 2025 to the shareholders on the register of members at the close of business on February 28, 2025. So, how much is going to be paid? 3.54 cents per share. When will it be paid? It will be paid on March 28, 2025. Who will get those payments? All shareholders that are registered, that are on the register of members at the close of business on February 28, 2025. This is what we're talking about. In your investing career, you're going to see many more of these sort of declarations of dividend. This is great news. Let's see how we can translate that dividend notice, that declaration of dividend. Let's see how we can translate that information to actual dollars and cents that's going to hit my bank account. So let's recap. They said that they're going to pay 3.54 cents per share. So what, as an investor, you have to do is simply go to your portfolio and see how much shares you have currently. So let's see. Let's go to my portfolio and see how much shares I have currently in Massey. Let's go. So we're at Massey here. All right. Where can I find the number of shares? Let me see. Let's go to, actually let's go to back to portfolio. Legacy portfolio, holdings. Yep, this is the view. No, this is not the view. Where do I go to see? Wait. Yes, if I right click on edit transactions, ooh, I need to do some maths. So let's go. Let's add to see how many shares I have in total in Massey. So you guys can help me out as well. Let's do it here in real time. So first of all, we need to calculate. Let me just zoom in a bit on the screen. Actually, no, this should be good. Yes, so let me calculate the number of shares. So this is the total number of shares. So, all right, this is the transaction screen. This is how I update Simply Wall Street in order to keep tracking my portfolio. So every time I buy or sell, I will update this in add transaction. I'll update and add transaction, and I will record whether I buy or sell. So as you can see, I think this is the first time I'm letting you all see this bit of information. So let me step through it before I calculate the total dividend payment. So that was my calculator falling there. So let's go. So I made a first purchase on May 26 in 2019. I bought 19,800 worth of shares, which was 360. I then made another payment for shares on the 13th of the 10th month in 2024. I bought 11,108 shares. In the very next month, I made another payment of 8,000 and I bought 8,822 shares. And very recently, last month, on the 27th, just before I uploaded my first post on this channel, I made a purchase of 7,486 shares. So let's add this up. We have 8,822, we have 11,108, and we have my first set of shares I purchased, which was 360. So that gives me a grand total of 27,776 shares. So, based on the notice, I have to multiply the number of shares I have, which is 27,776, by 0.0354, which is 3.54 cents. And that gives me a total of $983.27. So remember that, folks, because when I actually get the payment in a couple months, we can verify if my calculations are correct. If, and a big if here, is that if I do not buy any more Massey shares between now and the 28th. Of course, any transactions I make, I will upload a video and you guys can hold me accountable and we can keep track of these payments. Okay? Great. So, what do you think about the process here? Please put a comment below and let's move on. As an investor, you need to know where you can get updated, credible information about your different investments. So one very good resource is the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange website, which I just showed you. Another very good resource is the actual website of the companies that you're thinking about investing in. In this case, for example, this is Massey Holdings website, and on their website, they're all typically laid out in this familiar fashion. They will have a tab for investors. That's you and me. So let's go to the shareholder center. So in the shareholder center, you'll see all the series of notices that they send out, all the updated information, and what we are most interested in is the annual reports. So the last annual report for Massey is in 2024, at the end of 2024. So let's have a little look and see what they said. This is the annual report for Massey, and it's laid out typically like any other company. So if you're not familiar, a company's annual report is a comprehensive document that provides shareholders, investors, and other stakeholders with a detailed overview of the company's financial performance and business activities over the past fiscal year. In this case, 2024. For the period, actually, in this case is the period October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. These annual reports typically have 7 elements. 1, it will have a letter to shareholders. This is a message from the CEO or the chairman summarizing the company's performance, strategy, and outlook. 2, it will contain financial statements. These financial statements will have key reports such as the balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement, often audited by an independent accounting firm. 3, management discussions and analysis. In this section, the management explains financial results, market conditions, risks, and future plans. 4, corporate governance and leadership. Information about the board of directors, executive team, and corporate policies. 5, business overview. Here, details about the company's operations, products, markets, and competitive environment. 6, Risk factors. Discussions of key upcoming risks that could impact the company's performance are laid out in this section. And lastly, 7. Sustainability and corporate social responsibility. This contains information on environmental, social, and governance (ESG) initiatives, if applicable. So these are what these annual reports are typically about, and Massey is no different. What I want to focus your attention on, and I will just skip to that section very quickly. I encourage you to read it on your own. So this is the chairman's message. He's speaking directly to us as shareholders. But there's a section here, if I zoom in, I want to focus on. Because this caught my eye when I was looking at the report, so let me share it with you. The section is entitled Delivering Value for Shareholders. So this is what he says. Our commitment to delivering shareholder value remains steadfast. Reflecting this, we are pleased to declare a final dividend of 13.63 cents per share, bringing a total dividend for the year 2024 to 16.78 cents per share, an increase of 6% over the prior year. So this is 2024 final dividend payment. So, the second paragraph. In addition, we are pleased to announce that from first quarter 2025, which is March 2025, dividends will be paid quarterly. They hold true to their promise because, as we just saw, they announced the dividend payment payable on March, providing greater consistency and predictability to our shareholders. So they are planning to pay dividends on a quarterly basis for this year, which is extremely good news to shareholders. And I personally think it's good news. This sort of news, as they said, this step further reflects our confidence in the group's financial stability and future outlook. So this is the kind of information, when I look at this, I already regard Massey as a quality company to invest in for the long term. This report further enhances that belief that this is a company I should be buying in and holding for the long term. What do you think, guys? Do you think Massey is a long-term investment? Let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe, like, and hit the notification button for more uploads on my channel. Take it easy.